Welcome! Hello everyone. It's the second episode of This Week in Monstercat, the show where, we talk about Monstercat with my good friend Pete.
Hey!
Oh, Jesus. And the sickly Xavier. So this is a pretty exciting episode because it's gonna be damn massive because we've got 5 tracks that came out this week because Monstercat needs to spurt them out because, you know, they want to have the album out by the end of the year, which is fine by me.
They gotta get out to 30 by the end of the year. That's always their goal, is to do 5 albums a year. So if they're gonna be trying to squeeze out 30 as well. It seems like they might be in a bit of a rush because of, anniversary album release and stuff like that. So that threw them behind a little bit. I think that was the main thing that kind of
2 weeks worth of separate releases.
Yeah.
So so this week it's going to be a little bit different than last week. Last week we had the news first, because Pete hosts that section and he had to leave a bit earlier. But this week, and hopefully for the normal thing of the podcast, we're going to have releases first, then the news, then the track of the day, and then we'll wrap up. So, onto the releases, I guess. The first track that was released this week...
rushing into it.
Yeah, the first track that was released this week was Touch Me by Candyland and Ricky. And can I just say that I don't think...
should never be called that ever.
Yeah. I don't think any of us are excited when we heard there was a new Candyland song. Because
especially me.
I mightn't hate Faces as much as you
like
do.
I do.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. But this song is not awful.
Fuck me, this song is so good.
It is actually really
I think my low expectations made me like it a bit more than I otherwise would, just considering I heard about Candyland, and I didn't have hopes. I wasn't like, oh, I bet it's gonna be sick. No. But oh my god, it is very good. I love it. So it starts off with this sort of vocal chop that just says "touch me," and I think I'd count half of that stuff as proper vocals as well.
Yeah. Later on that comes in, but like at the start, she's like "touch me."
They're okay. Like honestly, the vocals, I feel like I should hate them.
I like them.
I feel like I should hate them, but I don't. I don't hate them at all, which is good.
Yeah, well, with the vocals, when they come in the intro before the drop, they have this really cool bassy backing behind them, which makes it sound so cool. And, and it has these sort of dark basses that come in around the intro and just, like, pop in every so often, which are really cool. And, the build-up, it's pretty generic. It's generic as hell.
There's no hiding from that.
But, there's one thing which I actually think makes it really cool. Because the beat, if you listen to it through headphones or on a good speaker system, you'll notice that one of the kicks, like, pans between your left hand and right hand side of your headphones, and I reckon that's really cool. But
I mean, I also like how it like builds up, but it also comes back down just before it drops as well. Which is cool.
Yeah.
But the actual build up itself is
it's generic as all hell. And so it drops. And I remember when I first heard this drop, I was like, oh! Yeah, it does. It's got that clean, deep house sort of sound to it.
Yeah.
And it's still got that cool bassy backing. And the vocals...
The vocal chops are implemented really well.
Yeah,
like, they're placed throughout it. Like, they're not like, they don't run through the whole thing. They're kind of just placed here and there, and I think they're really well implemented. And
that vocal chop that says, get up, it's really cool. Makes me think of Topi for some reason. But so
he doesn't get up; he backs up.
And so towards the second half of the first drop, have you noticed how it gets like darker?
I wrote down in my notes that it slowly evolves instead of just staying the same the whole time.
It gets so cool when it gets a bit darker. Yeah. I love that.
It gets really spooky. It gets like...
Yeah, in the second drop. That's like one of the best bits of the song, and we'll get to that. Yeah. And so the second drop just like comes out, it's just like We don't need any time between our drops.
Well, I mean, we've missed the whole interval in the middle because that.
Well, isn't that middle bit the second drop?
No,
because
that's
no,
the
but
interval.
No, but it has first drop, then it has a build up, then it has that middle drop, which is different.
That bit's not a drop. That's the interval between the first and the second drop.
Nah, mate, you're cooked.
No, it is. It is. It's the interval.
I don't believe you. I'm gonna go test this.
Well, listening to it again isn't gonna change your opinion.
Touch me.
Jesus Christ. Because yes, it does have a build-up. I'm not gonna argue with that, but it's clearly supposed to be the interval between the two drops. It's not. Doesn't have anywhere near as much substance to it. It's just a little chill bit.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much substance, but I don't know. Interval between the two drops. All right. It doesn't matter what it is. It's fucking awesome. It's really, really cool. Yeah, that interval bit, I like it a lot. It sort of calms down the rest of the song because it doesn't have the dark sound that the rest has, I guess. And it's more sort of. I haven't listened to that much Future House, but I think it sounds a bit more like Future House than Deep House. It's not Future. All right. Well, it sounds like Deep House, but
you know
like
what
the
it
other
sounds
type
like?
of Deep House. What?
You know what it sounds like? An interval.
Yeah. Well. I don't believe you, but it's fine. So then we get into the third drop, and.
It's very similar at the start. Honestly,
it is. It starts
It starts off very similar.
Well, it's the third drop if you consider the interval the second drop. So the second drop then, if you will.
I thought I had 2 drops.
So.
Yeah, it does. Xavier agrees with me. It has 2 drops.
It has 3 drops. So the second.
No!
Hang on, man. Hang on. No.
No.
When the fuck's the first drop?
It has.
Right, so the first drop is just like the first one that goes into the first drop. The second drop is that interval bit, right?
Yeah,
because it has a build up.
You gotta listen to that. You gotta tell me what you think about that.
Well, when do you think the second drop happens, Mika?
Alright, I'll just get the song back up, man.
Just tell me at what point in the song the second drop is.
It's like right after the first drop ends. It's like literally, like, the first drop ends and then it goes straight into a build up to the mid-section, aka the second drop.
Like 2:19.
Yeah. No, not that.
Pretty
oh
sure.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is it. Yeah, it goes right into another drop, and then it has that less, the lighter one, and I like that. It's fucking cool.
I like it too, for sure.
But it is much more laid back. It's definitely got a different vibe. But anyway, we talked about that bit enough. We'll just call the interval.
Wait, hang on. When did you say the second drop starts?
It's like 2 minutes or so.
2 minutes 20 seconds, like 2:19, 2:20.
Yeah.
This isn't.
I really want to see.
This isn't a drop.
Yeah, Xavier, what do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it is. It's the interval. But it builds up.
It's not. It's not.
Anyway, all right, we've got off track. First drop, really cool.
Yeah.
First drop, really cool. Mid-section, different, but really cool.
Yes.
And apparently not a drop.
It's not.
Let's get on to the second drop then, eh?
It's a fake out drop.
Isn't the second drop just the same thing?
Yeah, fake out drop. But if it's a fake out drop, it's still a drop.
Sorry, it's a fake up build up. It's a build up that kind of fakes out to not.
But you can't. But if you have a build up, what comes after the build up is the drop.
Not necessarily.
Because that's why it's a drop.
Not necessarily.
Divided by sips and slows. Think about that one.
They have the fake up build up as well. You can't say that, but yeah, that's a good example. Thank you, Xavier.
Well, no, but there it drops into.
That song has 3 build ups and 2 drops. Divided.
Yes. Correct.
This song has 3 build ups and 2 drops and an interval.
I just want to talk about the second drop, man. Alright, so it goes. Alright, what are we calling it then? Are we calling it the second? So we're calling the interval, and the second drop is.
Second drop.
Alright, so my third drop and your second drop. This is getting really confusing for the listeners. Alright, the second drop. Fuck! The drop, which comes after the interval, which is the second drop, is really, really similar to the first drop for most of it, right? Except for, like, the second half, of the second drop. The first half is really, really similar. Oh, shit! I forgot to mention something. Back in the intermission bit, it has this really high pitch, cool backing, which I like, but probably irrelevant. Anyway, so the third drop, second drop, that spooky melody which comes in the second half of the drop is so damn cool. Like, that's really my favorite bit of the song, I reckon. And I'm not sure if anyone that's listening will get this, but that bit reminds me of a trip-hop band called Portishead a lot, and I doubt anyone's gonna get that, but that's how it makes me feel. And, it's just so cool. It's so cool, that bit. I really, really love it. But it still has that cool deep house sound, and yeah, that second drop I reckon is damn awesome. But I assume you guys agree?
Yeah. I mean, between the release we're going to talk about and this song, I can't decide which. This one's one of my potentially favourites so far. I can't decide between Anticipation and this. Yes, I fucking love this song.
I don't think I even like anything from the album so far.
Awesome.
Really? You don't like Anticipation?
Oh, it's alright.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I know you like it because you fucking Mika.
But yes, fucking
that is
Touch Me is great, and it's fucking one of my favorites so far. So
yeah,
that's
it's
my
awesome.
consensus.
Like, my only issue with Touch Me would be that at times it can sound a bit generic, and the beat can sound sort of like a bit of a generic deep house and trance beat sometimes.
I mean, I feel like that's what it's going for, though, and it does it really well. That's the thing. It's generic, but what it does, it pulls off really well. So, you know, it's just improving on something that already works. So, I think that's fine.
But I love that. I love that song. That's really, really good. Alright, so the next track is Anticipation by Direct and... What's his name again?
Some other kid.
Elliot Berger.
Yeah,
it's
Elliot
Berger. Berger or something, but he is Elliot Berger, and I refuse to
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we can all say that we all love Direct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Direct is just amazing. And we all like Chill as well.
I mean, this song, when I was listening back to it, I think what I just said about Touch Me applies to this as well. It's like, this isn't like breaking any new ground, but it's what Direct always does. But he's gotten so good at it. And I think this is just the epitome of... It sounds like all of his other stuff, but it's just...
You reckon?
To the best of it. I reckon it sounds like a lot of his... It's got the subtle wubs, it's got the awesome beats that he always does, it's got the nice piano riffs, and it's just to the it's just to the top degree of what he already does great.
But it's much more vocal chop heavy.
Yeah.
Than his other things. And I, like... Because it makes me think almost of, like, a Feege collab, but with no Feege. But
this bloody EP better have a Feege collab in it.
It bet. Yeah. Well, we have one recently, but Feege is awesome.
Nah, but it's necessary.
And so similarly to Coven from last week, I already know Elliot Berger quite well, and I really, really, really like him a lot for his melodic dubstep. Tracks like Home and The Nameless are really awesome. But yeah, this track is definitely not melodic dubstep. But
no,
I'm not sure if you
totally.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, and it's a weird, tiny little thing to be pointing out. But at the very start of the song, it has record crackling, like the sound of like an old record.
Yeah,
and that is something which always brings so much atmosphere to a song. I love it. Yeah,
I agree.
And the way that the pads in the background. Pads being, if you didn't know, Pete, they're like, in EDM terms, sort of like, they're a bit like melodies, but much more drawn out. And the way that they're used in this makes me think of, like, the ocean and waves and shit, and that's a great thing to
I don't know why you addressed me specifically like that. Like, I'm sure...
Oh, I don't know.
Xavier knows all about it, don't you?
Xavier does.
Don't you?
Oh, both of you. And the listeners. I'm sure most just... listeners wouldn't. Most just... Shit, I can't word that without sounding like fucking some privileged kid who knows all about EDM, even though I don't
EDM scientist.
Yeah, I got my lab coat on and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, those pads I reckon are used really, really nicely to sort of sound like oceans and waves and stuff, and that's a nice thing to be thinking about when you're listening to chill. And it has that nice piano which comes in.
Oh, the piano riffs are always so nice.
Yeah, Direct does a great job with that. And it has a couple, and before the drop, it has a couple of really cool vocal chops that just like pop in every so often, as well as an awesome sub bass kick, which
and the first and the second half are like different, which makes me very happy.
They are for sure.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah. So the build up to the first drop is nice and subtle. It's not too, it's not too out there and
as chill does.
Yeah, chill doesn't really go out there.
A massive drop.
Yeah. And the drop comes, and oh my god, it's chill D&B. My favorite genre is meat. I love chill drum and bass so much. But yeah, the first drop is just so damn good. What?
D&B?
Yeah, it's chill. It's not actually. It's just. So, it's labelled as chill, but it has a drum and bass beat.
This just sounds like
section of the song
a normal chill beat to me. Like
we're talking about the drop.
Like around 40 seconds.
It's D&B. It's chill D&B.
It just sounds like a chill beat to me.
Yeah, same.
Well,
Xavier,
it's got the speed, right? It's got the speed of D&B. Right? Or am I just going crazy?
Yeah, it's not.
I don't think it's D&B.
I listened to it 15 minutes ago, and it was just like, yeah, it's D&B,
so did
it's
I.
D&B, it's D&B, it's D&B. Everything was yelling D&B. Damn. Well, anyway, all that matters is that beat is amazing. It's so good. It's so fast. It's Direct is so good at getting things which you wouldn't when it comes to his beats that you wouldn't normally associate with chill. Like you wouldn't think of having chill being as fast as a lot of Direct stuff is, but he makes it that fast and he makes it that much better. Where sometimes chill, because it's so slow, can be like unengaging, but his is always engaging because it's always fast.
It's so unpredictable as well, like in a good way.
Yeah.
It's not just like on every like main note, like boom, 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 and it's not like a normal D&B beat. Like his beats lean more towards like breaks than anything else. It's like you don't know what it is. It's just all over the place in the best way possible. Keeps things interesting.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, everything. The melody, the vocal chops, the occasional dark, glitchy basses that come in, the beat, it all just gives me that feeling that only chill can.
I love his little subtle wubs that he always has.
I know,
in the background so much.
He is a master of sub-bass. It's wonderful. And so, yeah, that first drop is just so good. Then it goes into a nice little piano segment in the middle, which I reckon it's really good because it has subtle backing which builds tension towards the second drop because it sort of like ramps up very subtly and not enough that you'd be like, oh, well, this is obviously a build-up, but enough to make you think something's coming, something's going to happen. And that's really, really good. And the second drop,
there's just one little melody in it that's just...
I was so worried. I was so worried that it would be the same as the first drop, but then it comes in and everything's just there's a couple of melodies that were added that are like sort of glitchy, if you know what I mean, and like just the whole song feels like a little bit like it's all similar but has changed. Like it all feels a little offset the second drop.
The beat's
cool.
Different as well. Like I was listening to it just then. The beat's different, which is
the kicks have a lot more reverb. Yeah, I can't decide which drop I like more. I love them both heaps, and I reckon
I like the second one more. Personally,
I reckon the vocal chops used throughout the song are like really, 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 really good. And I reckon, yeah, thank you, Elliot Berger. You do great vocal chops. Yeah, and so I reckon, honestly, this might be his best track since Lark. Might even be better. Might be his best track since Tranquility.
This is the only thing he's released on Monstercat since Lark, though. Right?
No, you guys keep thinking that. No, he released the one with the lady that was sad.
The lady that was sad.
Time to say goodbye. Yeah. But I really hope that Elliot Berger stays on Monstercat because he's so good at creating atmosphere in his music.
I mean, this is a bit of a tangent, but you know that stuff kind of happens. But I think it's something interesting to talk about. And what I think this will be is something that has happened so many times before, where a main artist collabs with another artist to make a song, like on the main albums, but then the person they collabed with never shows up again. It happens. Yeah. Like a lot. Yeah.
That's like that. I'm almost certain that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. But if Elliot Berger wants to come on, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Because he's awesome. And can I just say, I want that direct EP so much.
I know.
I want it, please. So is that anyone else have anything else to say?
No, not really.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a great track. And so moving on from a great track to a less great track, we've got Wildfire by Rootkit. And
it's very good.
I mean, it's sort of cool to see him coming back to drum step. The issue is it's drum step. But yeah, like even within drum step, this isn't his best track for sure. But I don't know, the song starts off with some nice guitar sort of business going on.
Just one of my main issues with this song is just how vocally chop driven it is. Like how many vocal chops there are, which is, it's always nice to have vocal chops in songs, but that feels like the main part of most of this stuff. It's just
that's the only thing I like about the song.
Really?
I like how vocal chop driven it is.
That's what holds me back from.
Because I don't like anything much in this song except for the vocal chop, and the vocal chop's the biggest part of the song. So yeah, I really like that vocal chop. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, because I sure don't.
Yeah,
and I can't remember if it did it. Hang on, let me go back and check this now.
Oh, my nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does a fake out DMB drop twice.
I know.
It has a DMB build up, and then
rude.
it just doesn't, which is like, come on. Like I still probably wouldn't have liked it that much anyway, but still, come on. What the hell?
Drum and bass, please.
No, what the hell?
Drum and bass is the only way to make drum step good.
It's just
alright. Look at Do It. Alright, there's a reason that song's good.
Like even if I wouldn't have minded, like, first drop, fake out DMB, and then drum step, and then the second drop could have been actually DMB. But they did it twice. You did the same thing twice. Come on.
You got DMB in the build-up, and then it's drum step like that. You don't know. But, yeah, the drop, it's a bit too repetitive, like both of them.
Yeah, definitely.
And that isn't helped by the fact that I'm pretty sure both drops are the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, it's just sort of a situation of... Had you have changed the beat in the second drop, probably would have been a much better song, but, you know, you've got the same thing twice, and that thing that you're repeating is repetitive itself, so...
It's just the tip of mediocrity, honestly. Like, it's so not bad. Like, there's nothing really bad about it, but it's just so little good about it as well, that it is just, like, so... okay and no better, that it's just kind of sad. Especially because Rootkit's last track was a lot better than this.
Strung Out is amazing.
Better. It's kind of unfortunate because I was thinking to myself, you know, he's been making a lot of house lately, and I like it, but I wish he'd kind of go back to some of the older stuff, you know, the DMB or the drum step. And then he does it, and it's like...
Yeah, it's not good. I hope he goes back to Deep House. I mean, I never really liked his drum step stuff in the first place, so, you know.
I mean, Race Against the Sun wasn't great.
Oh, it was gross.
Do It Duet's pretty good.
It's alright.
Do It is incredible.
My favorite, not house song by him was Too Late, though.
Oh, Too Late's his best song.
Mine's Carry Me Away on 20 was
good.
good.
Yes,
Oh
that song
shit!
as
I
well.
forgot that song
That song
exists.
was
Carry Me
yeah.
Away is so
I
good.
mean, it's kind of annoying because I remember, when he was first coming on, when he was the first part of the label, most of the stuff he made, it was here's D&B, here's drum step, here's some other genre, alright, have a bit more of the old stuff, here's Carry Me Away, it's completely different. Most people thought of him for his diversity,
And then
he just made house for, which
Mm.
it's good for the most part, don't get me wrong, but I kind of liked how diverse his stuff was, and now it's kind of not that, so,
Yeah.
Oh, also, Ambush, that song's awesome as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Was that on
D&B
Monstercat?
one that I always
Drum and
forget
bass, isn't
exists.
it?
Yeah, it's on Monstercat.
Oh
Wasn't it
yeah.
released as
It
a
wasn't on an
single or
album
something?
for whatever reason. I think it was just a free release or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great song. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound too harsh on the song because I actually do like it quite a bit. I just don't really, the vocal chop is, like I said before, is the only thing I actually like about the song, and the rest is just average or too slow or. But I do think the vocal chop's pretty unique and interesting. But it's a pity because Rootkit, he has as we were just saying, he does have a lot of talent, and he has made really great tracks, but I just reckon he played this one a bit safe and sort of
Especially because I saw some tweets about a song that he was making that had 3 drops and they were all different genres. And this is clearly not the song, but I'm like,
No.
why didn't you just release that? Make that. That sounds cool if it's 3
Yeah.
drops with completely different genres. That's the opposite of what this is. It's just the same thing, repetitive, over and over and over again. But, whatever.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say? Or is...
I mean, maybe it's a bit of a controversial statement. Not that much has come out, but honestly, it's my least favorite of the album so far. Because the Soupandreas stuff and the Coven things, they weren't incredible, but I enjoyed them a fair amount.
That's how I
This
feel
song
about
is
this
just-
song. This song isn't incredible,
I feel
but
like
I
that
like
too,
it.
but just I don't even like this one.
Oh,
the
one
thing.
last thing I forgot to say is basically I feel the exact same way about this song when I first heard it as I did when I first heard Concrete Jungle, which was I had no idea whether I liked it or not. But Concrete Jungle grew on me a lot in the future, so I reckon this one might grow on me.
But
So,
the reason I didn't
I'm gonna give
like
it the
that
benefit
song
of the
at
doubt.
first- the reason I didn't like that song at first very much, like Concrete Jungle, was it felt really weird to me, and it was too weird for me to handle. But the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is sick. This is sick.
weird
But
is good.
This song just makes me feel like there's nothing unique or weird about
Yes,
it. It's just...
no, there is. The vocal chop's pretty unique, I reckon. It's like, yeah. Anyway, that's it's decent. So the next track that came out this week was "For You" by Karma Fields, and
classical song.
yeah, I don't really listen to classical much, but the last time Karma Fields made a classical song, it was amazing. So I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be pretty good too. So yeah, like I said, I don't really know how to talk about this much because I don't listen to much music besides electronic.
It does. It clearly
It has
does have
electronic
subtle-
elements.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And they're mostly to add to the atmosphere. And I think
yeah.
this song is very atmospheric. I think that's the best thing it does. Is it has a nice atmosphere.
It's a really beautiful song. I reckon it's
as far as songs that are just completely piano driven for the most part, this one's a lot more interesting because it's not just the piano. There's other shit going on as well. Because there's a lot of tracks on they're always on
melodies.
Resonate. There's always shit on the Resonate EPs.
Or Haywire.
That had fucking that shit's it's alright, but it's the Resonate stuff especially is literally just piano. And that's good. Which I'm not trying to doubt the talent of the people playing. It's just not very interesting, especially on Monstercat. But this has a lot of that same stuff, but it goes a bit further than that, and because of that, I think that redeems it quite a lot.
Do we like the vocals? in the track?
I'm not sure at this point.
I like them. I really like them. I reckon they're really nice. They're not as best vocals.
I mean, they're not
Skyline is
overused,
best
which is
vocals.
nice.
Yeah. But I reckon they complement the feel of the song quite nicely. And, yeah, all those ambient backing noises in the song are just so nice. And, like, I don't really have that much to say on this song, because I don't know the genre well enough to say that much, but what I can say is I can definitely tell that Karma Fields, through this song and the Skyline acoustic mix, and just Skyline as well, I can tell that he has some of the best talent when it comes to composition on Monstercat, I'd say. Because I know I've told you guys this before, but something I feel about a fair few electronic artists, and this might be a controversial thing to say, but I feel like a fair few of them wouldn't be very good at making music outside of electronic. Like, I'll think of an example of that, maybe like Noise Storm, right? I don't think he'd make very good music that wasn't electronic. But there are artists like Haywire or Resonate or, well, I guess Resonate did make music that was outside of electronic, but we won't talk about that. Haywire and Resonate and Karma Fields are the ones that come to mind that I reckon have lots and lots of compositional talent, even if some of them don't use it very well. Cough, cough.
I mean, we can't really say for sure.
Yeah,
we can't really say that they're not good, because they're not good at composition, because we don't know that, because we don't know what else they've done in their life. But unless you read like all the AMAs, where they probably say something, but just through you can tell by listening to some artists, you can tell what instruments they really like. For example, the main thing that comes to my head is I think Slips and Slurs would be a bit of a drummer. I have the feeling, because that seems to be one of the big focuses of his songs, and he's really good at making it interesting. So, but you know, we don't really. I guess I can see where you're coming from, but we don't really know that, so I don't think it's worth making a claim like that, because we can't be sure if they're not good at that.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is just through what I've heard on Monstercat, basically. But yeah, that track, it's weird because is it going to be on the main album? Do you know? Like
no, it won't be.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
Be.
But it's cool. It's nice. Yeah.
It really confused me. The title really confused me, being For You, because there's one on the original LP called For Me, and I forgot that it was called For Me and not For You, and I thought this was going to be a classical rendition of that. So I was looking up For You by Karma Fields on Spotify, and nothing was coming up.
Yeah.
And I was really confused. I was like, has the song been deleted off Spotify? So I just went to the LP, and I saw that For Me was the one that I was thinking of, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Can I just point out how many songs on Monstercat there are called For You?
Yeah, I was about to say, there's like
there's the TVDS one. There's Though It's Spelt Differently, I'm still going to count the error chord one. There's the Rich Edwards one, and now there's this. So, you know. Jesus Christ. I think, I hope that's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of songs called Pressure, or The Pressure
Something
as
about
well.
pressure.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is that all we have to say on that one? Yep. Cool. Cool. So, the last track that was released this week was The 90s by Aerochord. And, I never thought I'd see Aerochord making Future Bass, but here we are.
It was inevitable, I reckon.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Future Bass takeover?
Yeah, ever since 23.
Yeah.
It's infecting all of our favourite artists. Soon enough, we're going to have Muzzy and Drop Tech Future Bass.
I mean, it kind of made a lot of sense for Aerochord as well, though.
Your Future Bass.
It made a lot of sense for Aerochord, though, considering trap and Future Bass are very similar, like, especially in beat and stuff. They're very similar, so to go
it's
to
just
that,
though
I think
from
it makes
his
sense, but
it's just though from his like theme that he has in music is like the polar opposite of Future Bass. It's like dark and brooding and heavy.
Well, yeah, I saw an interview talking about this song and his new EP, and it was just saying like how he wanted to experiment and
this song's definitely experimental.
because you said he was always known for his really heavy and balls to the wall stuff, and he kind of wanted to show people that he could do more than that.
He wanted to show his sensitive side.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, Pete, you thought it was by Hush, didn't you?
Yeah. Honestly,
and I can't blame you for that. It sounds like Hush.
I feel like as much as I feel like I should feel like dumb and like an idiot about it.
No.
But honestly, a lot of the sounds they do.
Yeah,
they really do.
I heard it for the first time this morning, and it sounds so much like a Hush song. Hush song?
I know, right?
Hush song.
Hey, just a question, Xavier. I know you hate Future Bass, but do you like this one?
No. It's.
I thought you would. I thought this one would work for you.
I don't hate it, but it's just.
I mean,
it's just not.
I'm sure you like it more than
maybe we should actually go through the song, just so we can
we'll do that now.
Understand
so, it sort of starts off with the drop melody, and that melody sort of throughout the entire song, which is not great to have that one melody there for the entire song. I think that's a bit of a problem,
the repetition.
Because that can mean that you're already sick of the melody by the time the drop comes, which is the bit that uses the melody well. But it has those vocals in both the intro and the mid section, and they're pretty cool. You like them?
I don't actually like the sound itself, but I just like the whole concept of the 90s thing. I don't know if it sounds that 90s. I don't really have the authority to say that.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
I don't think Future Bass
the name and the theme's a bit strange. I don't quite understand it, but it's still.
I think it's just because
cool.
of the vocals. I don't like. It might just be that the vocals are saying that. It's not just the vocal sound of the song. But I don't like the vocals. They're gross. Pretty much everything except the drop in this song I think is gross. But
the build-up's cool. It's like after the intro and stuff.
Yes,
there's this
the
little
build-up.
It kind of sounds like a normal build-up, but it's got this little synth that comes into it.
Yeah, the synth bass line in the background.
Cool.
It's really really cool. And the build-up's, it's good. It's very aerocore. It has those trap clap build-up sort of speedy things, and they're fine. Sort of reminds me it's like the hi-hat you hear a lot in trap. Anyway, doesn't matter. So the build-up sort of reminds me of Slips and Slurs a bit in the way it sounds. It's I don't know. I like the build-up. I reckon it's pretty good. And the drop, God, it's so cool. It's
really cool. Like, I just want to say how I feel about this. It's really cool, and I really like it for a little bit, and I genuinely think the first drop cutoff is good. It cuts off just before I would have said, alright, this is going on for a bit long now. I think it cuts off at a good time, which is good, which is very good.
But it's not that, I was listening to it, and I'd heard you say to me that it was too repetitive, and I was listening to it, I was like, but this is changing so often. It's not repetitive, because it doesn't repeat the same thing multiple times. It repeats a similar thing, which it changes. I think. And, I don't know, I just reckon the drop is really, really cool. It's got those awesome, glitchy, mechanical melodies and basses, and it's just so cool. And, yeah, well, I guess the sounds that it uses can be a bit repetitive, because it uses a lot of the same sounds often, but it's like, I don't know.
The thing is, the main melody is really not interesting. It's everything that surrounds it that makes it cool.
It's all the ways that he fucks
that
with
main melody is... Yeah, but the main melody is just a bit... It's just in the song too much, and it doesn't change up enough. Like, everything else surrounding it is fucking cool, and it's why I think the song is good. But it's just that main melody itself is a bit overused.
Yeah,
but I think, as
agree.
I said before, and as I was going to continue saying, I think the cutoff is at a good time. I think it cuts off. If it had gone on and repeated the same thing again, that could have been a problem. But it cuts off at a good time to stop me saying, alright, this is getting a bit boring now.
Yeah. And so, then we have the midsection, which I think is the same as the intro.
It's just the same.
It's bad. It's the same. It's bad vocals. And the rest is fine, but it's not standout for sure. The build-up is still cool. Build-up's the same, though. And I'm pretty sure... What? Sorry?
The killer. The 2 drops are pretty much the same. That's
I know.
The killer for me.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty
it's still good, and I like it for a bit, but that's the killer, honestly.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah.
And, I forgot to mention earlier, but one of my favourite little touches of the song is how it has that little cut from Boundless in the drop, and I reckon that's really
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Funny we should mention Boundless, because we were talking about it last week, weren't we? But,
that was our track of the week!
I reckon it's a really, like, as much as it does repeat what it does a lot, I reckon it's a really unique and inventive song when it wants to be.
Yeah.
And I really respect him, because he's definitely trying something new, and he's not just following the trend of the genre that he's trying either. He isn't just saying, like, I'm gonna make future bass, alright, I'm bringing out the next...
considering the closest comparison we can think of is Hush, who is someone whose music is not generic at all. Exactly. Yeah. I think if you're going to be compared to any future bass artist, I think that's a good one to be compared to. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying there.
So yeah, I reckon that's a... If it didn't have that, like, even if he just changed the beat and, like, moved some of the melodies, like, didn't even make any new sounds, just moved some of the melodies around in order, it would have fixed the song. But I still do reckon it's a really good song.
I like it more when I look back at it and talk about it, more than when I'm actually listening to it. Because when I'm listening to it, I'm a bit, this is cool, but after a while, I'm a bit like... Yeah.
I don't even remember what song we're talking about at this point.
The error chord one.
Alright.
However, considering this is attached to an EP, I'm still very hyped for the EP.
Two massive EPs. That to be excited about.
Which is good, considering how 28 had, like, none. It had, like, 2 EPs. It had the Project 46-1, which only had, like, a few new songs. It was a short EP. So the only one I'd really consider to be a proper EP was the Eminence one.
Oh, that one's...
It's good to see that we're getting more than that already.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the EP.
Yeah, me too, for sure. I can't wait. So I think that's all the releases for the week, and so we'll move on to the next segment. Yeah, it was massive. So the next
into the news.
Yeah, right into the news.
The news.
Take it away, Peaky boy.
All right, so I've got 3 items of official news. That's about it. I do have some other stuff to comment on. Topically enough, the first item is the 90s. Is the first track of Aerocord's new EP, which will be called Love and Hate EP. Makes me think of Psycho immediately.
Yeah, for sure. Imagine if it was one of those EPs where he, like, released one new track and the rest was just, like, Psycho, Boundless, and Surface.
Yeah, it's just like one of the things I really like Aerocord and respect him for, and I think this, like, the 90s is a good sign of, is he makes a song, he makes a main genre that is quite often very generic and not very interesting, and he tries all he can to keep it fresh, and I respect him. I really respect him for that. Yeah, I really respect him for trying to keep it fresh. And, like, sometimes it doesn't go in his favor with stuff like Psycho, which I love. I don't know why everyone hates it. But
it's so awesome.
He's always trying new stuff, which is nice. But and I'm hoping that this EP will be like the epitome of him trying new stuff. Like, honestly, the last thing I want is for all the songs to be like this, like the 90s. I want them to all be different. That's what I want. I want him to experiment with all different stuff.
Yes,
this song's cool.
The name would make you think that the name would make you think it has variation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Also, next piece of news, little birthday news. On Tuesday, it was 2/3 / Luther's birthday, which is cute. What's his name? Lewis. He turned 23, which is a cute announcement.
Exciting time.
What was that?
I'm just expressing my excitement over his 23rd birthday.
Yeah. Good on him. He, it was all skill. Getting to that age.
And, the third and final piece of official news is they finally put 28 on iTunes and Spotify.
Woo!
It took them too long, but they finally did it.
Hooray!
Which, I think it happened like Monday, Tuesday, like a week or two after the album came out, which is nice try, guys. I know it's not their fault, but at least it's there now. And I've also got the much longer cool other. I've just labeled it in my notes as cool other shit because it's stuff that's cool, but it's not really news about anything new or anything official. One of the things, these are mostly just Reddit posts that I saw. One of which was a video from Puppet, a Twitter video, where he's just standing in a Starbucks, and one of World's songs is playing in the Starbucks.
What?
Little Too Close is playing in the Starbucks cafe, which
pity it's Little Too Close,
is
but
really
awesome.
cool. But that shit's really cool, and I think most of everyone who ever goes on Reddit or anything ever has seen Laszlo's tweet about that D&B track. Because that fucking blew up on Reddit. That got 150 fucking upvotes. Which was a little insane for some random tweet.
I want it.
Tut Tut Child tweets about and gives a preview of making heavy glitch hopping.
Oh, there was a
and
preview
BPM
for
stuff again. Yeah, there was. I didn't write
hear
it down,
that.
but
Was
because I forgot
the
about
preview
it.
good?
It sounded pretty cool. It wasn't the longest, but just the fact
Did
that
it sound like his old stuff?
It sounded good. It sounded good. It reminds me of the melodies and stuff that I heard in it. Reminded me towards the heavier side of Yock and Waif and Fat Cat Adventures and that side of the heavy 10-10 stuff, which is good.
Yes, please.
Which is a good thing. And it also gives me confidence that it might be coming out relatively soon, / at all, considering in the space of a week, he tweeted about making it, and then also showed a preview of it, which kind of shows he's serious about it. Because some artists, they show previews of shit all the time, and then it just never sees the light of day, which is why... That's the main reason I don't put it under actual news, because there's always the chance that it might just never be... It might never see the light of day and might be not worth much of anything, but...
Definitely still worth telling people.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell people, I just don't think it's... I don't think it's the news, And,
but I'm very excited for that.
My last little piece of, I should have put this under news. This is pretty much news. Every song on Monstercat 018 Frontier has surpassed 1 million views on YouTube.
Oh,
Every
nice.
song on the album, which is nice. I'm pretty sure the last one was Shark City, which is sad.
That's
awesome.
I forgot that song existed.
It's one of the best ones.
That is an awesome, awesome, awesome song.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't thought about that song in 6 months.
I'm not sure if it's the first album to have surpassed 1 million views, but I'm pretty sure it is. That every song on it has. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But considering the level of following that Monstercat's getting to these days.
Yeah, we hit 5 million subscribers.
Yeah, 5 million subs on YouTube, which is always nice. So
again,
that's me done with news and other shit for this week.
One day
Moral
we'll
of the
be
story,
UKF.
hyped for Error Chord.
No. But yeah, Error Chord will be great.
Yes, and direct.
Oh, yes. Alright, so, the next and final and obviously best segment. It's Track of the Day. So, Pete, you go find the song, I'll go find the album.
Well, you gotta tell me what album it is first, so I know.
Generator.
Oh, I already have the website up, what the hell?
Oh,
You're slow.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
You're slow.
Alright, come on, buddy. 1 to 28. Oh my god. The internet's slow. Come on, mate. Oh. Alright, here we go. 1 to 28. Generate. 23. What
23.
are we going to get from 23?
Sure. Oh, dear. Alright, let's figure it out. Alright. Alright, that's the track number. Let me find it. I have no idea what it is, and I will tell you.
23 is a pretty cool album.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Load Spotify.
Be Warhead, Be Warhead, Be Warhead.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it is.
Warhead was one of the first. Warhead was like 8 or something. I don't know why I remember that.
Various.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that song. I can dig that. The track of the week this week is again by Kasbo.
Oh, that's a good
very
song.
Much. Which is a song
Not
I
as
like
good as
very,
Kaleidoscope.
very, very, very much. But it's still so good.
It's like almost as good as Kaleidoscope, but not as good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not quite.
I keep going back and forth between them. I can't decide which one's better. I always forget again is incredible, and then it'll come on shuffle and be like, oh yeah, I do like this one. But I don't know. Kaleidoscope's probably just gets the one up from the really, really cool vocal chops and the inventive use of future bass that isn't just like, we're happy. It's actually
I mean, one of the cool things about again though is it just kind of starts off like normal future bass and has a happy future bass drop, but it doesn't matter because it's good. But the whole middle section gets really mellow, and it's just really, really nice and a little sad. And it's got a little indie dance drop in there that isn't terrible. At least that's what everyone else calls it. So, and then it goes back into the happy stuff again. It's not just hey, happy future bass. But Kasbo is one of my favorite future bass artists. So.
Do you reckon he's better than Grant Bowtie?
Oh, it's a close call.
Grant Bowtie hasn't released more, so...
Yeah, just because of the fact that Grant Bowtie's got a bigger sample size, probably going to go with him. And because with stuff like Cloud9 and Clockwork and the one on 23, what's that one? High Tide. Oh, mate. So good.
It's kind of cute that they're right next to each other in the album list, though.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. High Tide's 11.
Oh, yeah. Which one of those two tracks do you prefer?
Oh, between those two?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I think I do too. What about you, Xavier?
I don't know. Honestly, they're both pretty good.
You don't listen. Yeah, they are.
They're like some of the few future bass songs I actually like. So
I'm surprised you like those more than you like the 90s.
I mean, High Tide's kitchen
because...
stuff. So...
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
Yeah.
But, I know we're supposed to be like finishing up and stuff, and I know I'm probably gonna be dropping people in the deep end. But we both listen. There's 3 of us. We all listen to
Xavier doesn't exist.
We all listen to EDM outside of Monstercat, right?
Indeed.
So I want to bring up a new segment out of nowhere. No preparation for you guys. No nothing. I think we should have a personal non-Monstercat track of the week.
Non-Monstercat track of the week.
Just choose a non-Monstercat track that you like and just say.
Weeks? Like it doesn't have to have been released this week.
Oh, hell no! Any non-Monstercat anything.
I've found nothing this week.
Any non-Monstercat song. No, that's fine. Any non-Monstercat anything. It doesn't have to.
So how do we choose which song?
Anything. It's just
anything.
People listen to anything.
All right. I'll go first. So, me and Pete both listen to Spotify a lot, and we both use the Discover Weekly thing to find new music, and it's great. If you have Spotify Premium, I would very much recommend if you want to find new music, do that, because it's awesome. One of the best songs I've ever found on Spotify, and I've found like 600, so I got quite a big sample size. It's by our good friend Soupandreas, who we were talking about last week. And it's called, I'm gonna remember his name when I look it up on Spotify. It's called Life Goes On. And it's a sort of hybrid future bass and trap song. Sort of mixed between future bass and trap. It's really, really cool. It's one of the most inventive songs I've ever heard. Like, hands down. Because it's one of those songs where it starts off very future bass. You're like, oh, alright, I know where this is going. It's building up as future bass. You're like, oh, right, it's going there. And then it drops, and you're like,
even
good.
your grandma. Go tell your grandmas about this. Tell them Soupandreas is where it's at.
They're probably watching this already, so hi grandma, listen to Soupandreas. It's great. So I think I know what song you're gonna bring up, Pete, but
what am I gonna bring up?
Are you gonna bring up
what do you think I'm gonna bring up?
Yeah. Is it gonna shit, I forget the name. Is it that Varian one?
No.
Oh, it's not gonna be.
Because the reason I thought of this was because we were talking about Kasbo, and we were talking about Again, and I'm like,
yes.
You know what? I remember this Kasbo song that I found that I really, really like. It's one of the latest things he's done from this EP called the Umbrella Club EP, which
is
honestly,
that the one with all like is that the EP that has like the mannequins on it?
Yeah. It's got all the mannequins and limbs and shit. And honestly, a lot of the stuff on that EP is pretty mediocre in my opinion. But there's this one song called "There's Something About You," which is
it's pretty cool,
really nice and really mellow. It's got the vocal chops that Kasbo likes to do that you've come to expect, and it does this really cool thing in the drop. First of all, the build up to the drop is really subtle and really insignificant, which makes sense because when it goes into the drop, it kind of starts off sounding almost identical to the build up, but it kind of happens a few times throughout the drop where it'll just start off sounding normal and mellow, and then it'll get really, really future bassy for like 5-second intervals, and then go back to being calm again, and then go back to being like really, really like loud future bass, which is really cool and really interesting. So when we're talking about Kasbo and stuff like that, that's what came to my head, and that's what made me bring this up. So There's Something About You by Kasbo from the Umbrella Club EP. Go listen to it.
Yep.
Which
awesome.
leaves us with Xavier. Just anything.
Right. The one I chose,
any non-Monstercat
I found
song.
this about like two months ago, but Madman by Rob Gasser. I've heard I think 2 Rob Gasser songs in my life.
It's so cool.
According to Mika, all of Rob Gasser's music sounds the same, but I don't really
for the
know.
most part.
But it's like
it's like happy glitch
really
hop.
slow. We're not talking about the same song, I think. It's
trap. No, like all of Rob Gass's normal music is like happy glitch hop, and then this one is a complete deviation.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like trap, but slower than normal trap, and trap's already slow enough as it is. And it's just really cool. And then the second halfway through the drop, it like just turns like really weird and has this really weird vocal chop. And then the second drop's just like fucking even weirder. Yeah. Man, that's what happens when you're unprepared.
Yeah.
No, that's a good suggestion.
That's a really good song.
See, it doesn't even take that much preparation though. Just look through your list of non-Monstercat stuff and just say, hey, that's good, right? And just listen. It's just that. It's easy. It's easy. So there we go. There we go. You guys just got surprised. This isn't even my podcast, and I just surprised you with a new section.
Yeah, freaking jump scare.
But you know, it only took like 5 minutes, so you know.
No, it's good. I like it. So if you want to check out those songs, I'll put links to them down in the description. And yeah, so thank you to everyone that's listened, and thank you Pete and Xavier for being on the show. And
thank God.
Sorry if we got a bit off track a lot. Especially with some of the. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We felt
work. That's half the fun of it. You don't apologize for that. If you want to be listening to something where they're always straight on the point all the time and just talking about stuff, that's just what normal YouTube videos are for. So podcasts are about having conversations and having fun. So you don't need to apologize.
All right. And I'm not sorry for going off track. And yeah.
Good.
So thanks for listening, and we will see you next
week.
Yeah.